G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. We had a request to talk a little bit more about the pruning equipment that we use, and in particular the electric pruners. So we are going to dive into that in this video. But first we have something to celebrate. We reached 1,000 subscribers. Cheers!
Thank you so much.
We just want to say, thank you to every one of you that has subscribed, liked, shared, and
taken a big interest in jackfruits.
Yeah, taken a big interest in jackfruits, which was the
whole point of this channel.
The point of the channel was to document our journey and also get more information out there about tropical fruits and jackfruits in particular. So we're really stoked that you guys love that, and for all the comments that you leave. And so it was super exciting. So
I'm going to have a drink.
Cheers to you. Cheers to us. Okay, so if we are just pruning thin branches, then we'll often just use our hand secateurs. Make sure they're sharp and clean, and for taking off these thin branches, that's all you will need. If we were needing to prune thicker branches and we weren't doing a big prune, we just noticed that we had missed a couple of branches for whatever reason, then we will sometimes come down with the loppers. These are extendable loppers. The problem with the loppers is that in order to open the jaws at the top, you obviously need to extend the arms out. And if you are up inside the tree, extending the arms out can be quite tricky when you've got branches either side of you. Our preferred method of pruning is to use the electric pruners. So these are made by Infaco, and they are the Elecrocoup pruners. We've got the older version, there is a newer version out now. But when you think about how many trees we are pruning, to use hand secateurs and loppers, that's a lot of strain on your shoulders, it's a lot of strain on your wrists when you're doing multiple cuts, no matter how sharp those implements are. So the electric pruners make a huge difference, and especially if we're wanting to cut thicker branches such as these. So these ones are the electric pruners that we use. This model is the F3015, and to turn them on, there's an on and off switch just here, so press and hold that. And I don't know if you can see on the video, but the green lights show up here to say that you've turned the pruners on. Using the trigger, press twice, and your jaws will open. You're now ready to start pruning. And it's as simple as that. When you finish pruning and you want to shut down your pruners, if you press the trigger just to close the jaws, and then on the top of the pruners you'll see a little switch here. You just press that down and up, and you can see that the green lights started to change. That shows now that you've essentially deactivated the pruner, so you've closed the jaws. And then to turn it off completely, you would again go to your on-off button down here. Now when it comes to pruning higher up in our trees, obviously hand secateurs, loppers, and the electric pruner just on its own is not going to allow us to reach high up into the tree. So then we would have to use things like ladders, and that slows you down quite considerably. So we purchased the extension pole for the Infaco pruners. This extension pole will extend to 1.2 meters, and quite simply you fit the pruners into the top part here, which we'll show you in a second, and then you attach the cord to your pruners. Once you've done that, the trigger on your electric pruners then becomes obsolete, and the trigger is then this one here on your actual pruners, and this slides up and down so that you can get the height, and this button here is what is going to control the jaws of your pruner. It appears that Stumpy is now going to demonstrate how to put the pruners into the extension pole.
Is that right? Right, so to put this in the extension pole, there's a knurled nut here. Unscrew that, and that pulls out. Then another knurled nut here. Like that. This cover comes up and is hinged. There's this little piece of wire here, so pull on that and it pulls the cable up. This replaces the cable that I've just taken out, and that then pushes in there. Screw this knurled nut up like so. Make sure that's lying out the way. That sits in there. Comes over. You'll see there's a hole here for the on-off battery. And then screw that knurled nut up. Then the cable from the battery just goes in this end. Probably won't pick it up on the camera, but there's 3 holes here for the power, and there's a little dip, so it will only go in one way. So line that dip up there. Screw that up and then turn this on. So that's on. It's blinking to say that it's on standby, and then this red button here, double press, and then each time you press it, as Angela was pointing out, with the loppers, to open the jaws you have to open the arms on the loppers, and that becomes difficult if you're reaching up inside. So this is just got the handle here with the on and off, and as you can see that will just slide up and down, and then it's just and it's so much quicker. So this little switch here that Angela pointed out, when you close the jaws and quickly backwards and forwards, that puts it into standby. Now you've got 2 cutting widths here, so obviously the wider the cut, the more the jaws move, the more it will use power out of the battery. So that opens the widest, pull it there, and if you notice when it opens up again, it doesn't open as wide. Flick that up and it opens wider. In terms of the jaws, at least on the Infaco, I believe you can get, I think there's 2 different jaws, maybe even 3. We went with this because we prune regular, we try not to let wood get that big. The reason we went for the Infaco, now there is I think at least 2 other models that have a battery and cord like this one, and that is Stihl, that make chainsaws, and Infaco, which are quite a big pruner manufacturer. The reason we went for this one is because this was the only one that had a safety mechanism. The early one, this one, had, you have a glove, a metal glove that connects to the power, so that if you were to put your hand close to the jaws, it would immediately stop it. The latest model actually has a metal trigger, so the connection, as it were, between your hand and the machine is done by the moisture in your body. So because it's a metal trigger, the moisture in your body, you don't have to wear the safety glove anymore. Just touching it would stop it from working. The Stihl and the Infaco, from what I could find, didn't have that facility. The other brands, I can't think of the name, but there is 1 or 2 brands that have come out now that actually have the battery pack as part of the handle of the pruners, which is good in some ways, because the wire can be a little bit of a pain. When you're working in trees, it can get caught around branches when you're using it with your hand, but how much weight that adds to the hand unit, I don't know. And in all fairness, we haven't used the other brands. We haven't used the Stihl, the Infaco, or the hand pruners, so couldn't comment on that. We went for this one purely because this was the only one that had the safety mechanism. They're not cheap. I forget how much this cost. I think it was Australian dollars, about $2,000, which is a lot of money. But in all honesty, this is worth at least 1 other members of staff pruning. I would say I'm at least twice as quick pruning using this than I would be with the hand loppers and the pruners. So in that way, it's paid for itself time and time again.
Okay, so the electric pruners do come with a waistcoat that you can wear to carry around your battery pack if you want to, but generally when we come down to do our pruning, we also like to carry our hand secateurs with us and our mobile phones. So we tend to just wear a belt that we can put all of our bits and pieces onto. So as you can see here, I've got my hand secateurs, I've got my electric pruners in the pouch here fixed to the belt. I've got a place for my phone, and I'll spin around and you can see the battery pack. In terms of the battery life, we tend to get at least 2 days of full pruning out of a fully charged battery. The charger unit will hold 2 batteries, so if you did want to get a second battery to charge up, you could, but we found that we don't really need that. We can get at least 2 days, like I say, from the 1 full battery charge. So I'll pop a link to the Infaco website in the video description. We are not getting paid or sponsored by Infaco. It's just that they are the electric pruners that we chose to purchase, and we really like them. As Ian said, there are other brands out there, so go and check those out. But if you want to know any more about the Infaco ones, more of the specs, then you'll find that on their website. And like I say, there is a newer model out now than the one that we are using. If we've missed any information out, or you have any more questions, then leave a comment down below. We will get back to you. And once again, thanks so much for watching, liking, sharing and subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks everyone. Bye.